Tonight, a verdict in a case that raised fears about violent political outbreaks in this country. A federal jury has convicted David DePape of federal crimes for a violent attack on Paul Pelosi, husband of the former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. The assault took place over 1 year ago. DePape broke into Pelosi's San Francisco home, shouting, "Where's Nancy?" He then beat Paul with a hammer, fracturing his skull. DePape admitted he was motivated by baseless far-right conspiracy theories. Many of the loudest voices on the right have since joked about the attack, including former President Donald J. Trump himself.
You know, we had no terror during my administration. The only terror we had was Nancy Pelosi, who's a crazed lunatic. What the hell was going on with her husband? Let's not ask. Let's not ask. I'll withdraw that statement. By the way, she's got a wall around her house. Obviously, in that case, it didn't work very well, did it? 10 years ago, San Francisco was one of the greatest cities in the world. Today, I don't know, it's very sad to see. And Nancy Pelosi is a big reason for it. She's got, by the way, she's got a wall around her house. It didn't help her husband too much.
Classy. The attack happened just ahead of the 2022 midterm elections amid sharp political and cultural divide in America. One GOP congressman who also came to power then was George Santos of New York. His election helped Republicans retake control of the House. But boy, oh boy, what a difference a year makes. Now Santos is facing expulsion in the wake of an absolutely devastating House ethics report that was released earlier today. It says he broke multiple federal laws, including using campaign cash to fund things, including, wait for it, Botox treatments, payments to OnlyFans, and a whole lot of other things. NBC's Ryan Nobles has the whole story.
Tonight, embattled Representative George Santos' days in Congress may be numbered.
Well, he should be expelled. What he has done is violate the public trust, engage in election fraud.
This after the bipartisan House Ethics Committee released a blistering report outlining a long list of allegations against the New York congressman.
The level of misconduct here, criminal conduct, is off the charts. I've never seen anything like this.
Among the new revelations, that Santos used campaign funds to pay for his personal rent, to take out cash from an ATM at a casino, to spend lavishly at designer stores, for cosmetic treatments like Botox, and on the website OnlyFans, which is known for its adult content. Santos already faces a lengthy criminal indictment. The Ethics Committee referred their findings to the DOJ, which could add to his list of charges. As he left Washington, Santos was defiant.
I think I said this very clear to you. I will take whatever comes my way the way it comes. I have no concerns.
Today, he announced he would not seek re-election, but vowed to stay in his seat, quote, up until I am allowed. But that may not be for long, as a flood of members who once said Santos deserved due process before any talk of expulsion are now ready to kick him out.
The Ethics Committee found that he did not cooperate with the investigation, and I think he's been given the fair due process.
That criminal indictment Ryan Nobles mentioned involves 23 separate federal charges that include stealing from his donors and falsifying campaign filings.